you so much, Wally. And welcome to Taking Care of Business on 95.3 WBEV and Daily Dodge TV. It is Friday, and of course, we love Fridays, right? It's the end of the week. Fridays are good. Plus, it's a bonus that every Friday we get to chat with the folks from Heiar Insurance Services, and Matt Heiar is with us again this morning. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
It's going. It's
good,
definitely
good.
going.
Been pretty boring week over at the office? No?
No, definitely not.
We're gonna get into that in just a little bit. If you've got a question for Matt from Heiar Insurance Services, whether it's about Medicare, of course, open enrollment period, we'll chat about that. Or if you've got other questions regarding any of that kind of planning, your insurance planning, Matt's the guy to talk to. Give us a call at 920-885-4446. You can also hit up the text line at 887-9595 if you've got a question for Matt. And we'll get into all that good stuff in a little bit. But lots of great stuff happening. Going to be a busy weekend. I mean, no shortage of things to do. Including what we were just talking about off the air, and with Charlie, that big football game coming up tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know exactly the last time we were in the playoffs, but it's just pretty pumped. I'm reliving my high school dream. It's always, you just hope the best for these kids, and we kind of got short-strawed a little bit, with our seeding.
Yeah, a lot of conversation about the seeding and where we're playing at. I think a lot of us thought maybe we'd get to see some postseason play at H.H. Jurleith Field, but you take the hand you're dealt and you run with it, and maybe a little extra motivation for the guys.
I was gonna say, I know Coach Lindy probably is using this as fuel, saying,
Exactly.
hey, they're disrespecting us. Let's show them what we're made of, and don't be thinking about next game because it's just a one-game season every week.
It is. Once you hit that postseason, it's win. It's just win that game and then worry about the next game, because it's win that so you can keep that season going.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So definitely good luck to the boys, and hopefully everyone makes it up there and we come out with the W, and we'll talk about it next week.
Is the Heiar family able to make the trek up to Menasha, or will they be watching on the Daily Dodge TV tonight?
I will be definitely viewing Daily Dodge.
Okay.
Is it Wade? Listening to Wade?
Yeah, we'll have Wade and Tim Ladron and Corey Sparks going to be up there on the road bringing us all the coverage.
All right. Well, might have to shoot them a text while we're
Exactly. Yeah, give Wade a hard time. Make sure you give him a hard time.
Okay.
He's got to have that once in a while to keep him straight. Otherwise, he forgets what he's doing.
Oh, yes.
And it'll be interesting. I wonder if the Pizza Pirate could hit on a road game that far away. I don't know. We'll see if anybody manages to get any food delivered to the broadcast booth. He's been on a streak this season of getting food delivered to the, especially here at home. They've got the Pizza Pirate that keeps delivering pizzas during the game, which I think they appreciate.
Oh, pizza travels well, so you never know.
You never know. So again, Beaver Dam, of course, taking on Menasha tonight. 6:40 for the pregame, 7 o'clock for the kickoff on Daily Dodge TV. You can also catch it on our sister station, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, and. You've got the Wisconsin W on today.
Yes.
Looking forward to be another big game tomorrow night.
Yes, I'm excited about that also, because if it's been years where it's like, oh, Badgers are on, okay.
Yeah.
So now it feels like we're finally, kind of catching our stride, and so I'm excited to see what we do against really good competition. But I was listening to the Day M Sports Show.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of talking about it, that Penn State, they're good in the rankings, but, they just barely beat USC. And we were in that game, too, against USC. So,
yeah.
I think if we played USC, right now, I think we could beat them. So it's kind of cool. I'm just excited for that. And then, of course, I have to go to the Fall Fest before that.
Yeah. Tomorrow is the big Fall Downtown Fest, downtown Beaver Dam. The Heiars are going to make their way out there. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm excited because Sierra she's the driver, I guess, in the casket race.
Yes, she will be in our casket for the casket races.
Who got the short straw to be runners?
We will have Charlie's waving his hand back behind the camera there. We've got Charlie, Wally, who's up in the Slumberland studios. He's going to be one of our runners. We've got Corey. Is one of our runners, and then Tyler will be one of our runners.
Oh, so you guys got the young bucks.
Well, exactly. Yeah, we had to go with the fresh blood, the young guys. They got more energy than guys like our age.
Oh yes, yeah. No, I would be winded because I didn't realize you had to do it so many times.
Yeah, it's a number of, they do heats. You do one-on-ones, so it's 2 caskets at a time as you narrow down the bracket. They've got 16 teams that are going to be competing. So, it'll be a lot of fun. Our casket's all ready to go. It's looking good. So, really excited. And I got the list of the teams, and there's going to be a lot of good ones down there. And it's the biggest one they've had yet. 16 teams is the most they've had for this. They started out their first year with, I think they said about 8 or 9 teams, and then last year was around 12, and now this year they've got 16. So going to be really fun.
Are the defending champs Wayland coming back?
I believe they will be there if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. I mean, they got some young blood there too. That's a fast team.
Oh yes,
it's a very fast team. So.
I think we got him this year, but no, it's so I'm excited to see that. It's really cool because you can just sit right outside of Uga, and it's kind of like the finish line.
Exactly. Yep.
So it's perfect. But before that, we get to go trick or treating.
Yeah, you gonna bring the kids trick or treating downtown?
Yes, they love that, and so yes, we cannot go to the casket races without doing that first. So
we'll be doing the same. Yep.
So yeah, that's exciting. And then obviously we got the Packer game Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a busy, eventful weekend.
It is. And then are you guys going to do citywide trick-or-treating Sunday here in Beaver Dam?
Oh, yes. I can't hide that one.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was when the kids were younger, we always got to hand out candy, which was really cool.
Okay.
Because when I was younger, we lived in the country, so we never got to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really cool, handing out candy for the first couple of years, but now we don't get to do it because the kids are like, no. We want to go trick-or-treating.
Yeah, I imagine. See, we compromised a little bit, and what we've been doing the last few years, it's 2 hours long, so we tell the kids every year, because our kids do kind of, especially our oldest, really kind of enjoys getting to hand out candy, too. So we always make a deal with the kids. We'll go, for the first hour, we'll go around and trick-or-treat, and really, it kind of allows us enough time ours are young, so they don't really want to walk as far anyway, so it kind of works out okay. And then the second hour, we come back home, and then we hand out candy, so it's a lot of fun. Do a little bit of both.
I'm not as good a negotiator as you because
I know.
I don't think they're going to do that.
It is tricky to do the second hour of handing. One of these years, I'm going to convince them to let us do the handing out in the first hour because that last half hour, it starts to kind of sizzle out and die out, so you don't have as many visitors. But it's a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Are you going to be in costume, or are you just going to leave that for the kids this year?
I'm not a big costume guy.
I didn't think so.
No.
I didn't think so.
Except for when Amy made me wear the Easter Bunny costume for Easter. That was eventful.
All right. We're chatting with Matt Heiar from Heiar Insurance Services here on Taking Care of Business from 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. If you've got a question for Matt regarding all that insurance stuff, Medicare, Medicaid, all that kind of stuff, feel free to give a call at 885-4446 or shoot us a text at 887-9595. We're keeping an eye on our text line as well if you want to get in and chat with Matt that way a little bit. And we mentioned at the top of the show, not a quiet time of the year. There never really is a quiet time for you, but when you were here last week, you were in the first few days of open enrollment for Medicare. So you're about a week and a half in now?
Yes, it seems like this is, the whole summer flies and stuff, but it seems like this just takes, every week is much longer. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But, basically, things have been going well. We're keeping caught up on drug plans and Medicare Advantage plans and, trying to find times, to see people, obviously. But, it's been going well. Little tips for advice moving forward because people are dropping off their drugs. And typically, people are just going to their providers, to their doctor's office, and saying, "Hey, can I have my drug list?" Well, what they do is they print off every drug you've ever taken that they've prescribed.
It might not be what you're actively taking.
Yes, and if we could have you just go through it and just cross the ones off, because when we run your medication list, we want to know what you're taking every day. What does next year look like? I know we might get new drugs, throughout the year and whatnot. But it's just the drugs that, hey, this is what I take every day. I don't take that anymore. And by crossing that off, that really helps us because these plans are so sensitive. If I add a drug to it, it might pop up a different plan. So that's why we want to know, you don't get 12 bottles of this hydrocortisone cream. So why would we put that in there? But that's just how it's inputted. Sure. So we just want to make sure because it's very sensitive and there's 14 plans. And we don't want to be picking the wrong plan for you because we just put every medication, in your cue that basically that you showed us. So yes, if you could help us out a little bit, it just saves some time and
Sure.
phone calls, because we'll run your medications and then we give you a phone call and say, hey, do nothing, you're good to go for next year, and we can tell you how much it's going to cost you out of your pocket, or else come on in, we could save you X amount of dollars, and that's when we can see you, or switch you depending on what works best for you. But yeah, it's really difficult when we don't have everything complete. If you're changing usernames and passwords for your accounts, we do need to know that, because that's how we go in and check your medications. So just little things like that just kind of expedite our process a little bit, so we don't have to keep paying overtime, because it's a busy time of year. And so any way we can make it slightly easier on the staff, that'd be great. But yes, it's been busy. I mean, people have been reviewing their insurance, which 'tis the season.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
Annual election. A lot of people have been switching their Medicare supplements, and everyone's like, well, no, I can't, because that's what we assume. Medicare supplements, this isn't their time of season, because they're a policy, so you don't have to renew that every year. But they do get expensive.
Yeah.
And they go up every year, even if you don't use it. So that's where, if we can answer some health questions and switch you to a different company, you could have the same policy but save money.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and some people are like, no, I'll wait till next year. Well, next year we don't know our health,
Yeah.
because if there's something that they find where they're like, no, a doctor recommended you need your knee replaced and you never got it completed, that's automatic denial.
Okay.
So
Wow.
you're signing a HIPAA form, so they're seeing your Medicare claims and your records and stuff. So we could lie on every question, but they're going to see it.
Yeah.
So, and it's a pretty quick and easy process. We just sign you up. It doesn't cost you anything. And then the underwriters take a look at everything. Then they call you, and then it's either yes or no. So even if they say, yes, you're approved, you can switch policies, that doesn't mean you have to. We'll make that debate at that time. So we're not canceling insurance. It's free to do the underwriting. And then we kind of just wait and see what they say and see if it's best for you.
Yeah. And going back, you're talking about, bringing in that medication list and having 14 plans to choose from. In that sense, that you're referring to the Part D Medicare plans. Don't want to assume, that anybody knows exactly what, how Medicare works. And obviously, if you're new to it and this is, you've just retired and this is kind of your first year dealing with it, can you just kind of give a basic layout understanding of the different parts of Medicare and how they work?
Yeah. So basically, I had an appointment this morning. And how it works is, like once you're going to be turning 65, that's our enrollment period. So we can sign up for Medicare A and B 3 months before, the month of, and 3 months after. So we have to hit that gap, because that's where everyone's hearing about lifetime penalties, don't miss out. And yes, that is very true. But if you're working with an employer, more than 20 employees, and we have group health, we don't need Medicare. So that's why it doesn't always make sense to go to Medicare. And some people are like, nope, my neighbor said 3 months before, month of, and 3 months after, I'm going to get penalized. True. But your neighbor might not have been working at that time. So that's why it's so situational. And people just look at me like, wait a second, you're telling me completely opposite of what everyone else is telling me. And we want to keep you on your group insurance as long as possible, because you have an employer paying 80, 90, % of your premiums.
Yep.
That's huge. It's also your drug plan. It's also your vision, your dental. So that's typically, I wish I had group insurance.
Yeah.
But I work for my mother. So, and we're too small of a company to do that.
Yeah.
So that's why, every situation is different. And I at least recommend a phone call. If you're like, I don't really like going into places and stuff, at least give us a call. Just, you can have peace of mind. And I always tell people, hey, you can yell at me if it's wrong then. Because, well, it's not. Because Medicare is the government, and
Yep.
we have certain rules that we have to follow. And there's no right or wrong answer here. But we have to debate if it makes sense to go off it. Now, we might kick someone off of group insurance if, just to start, like they're going to retire in March or April. Yeah, it probably doesn't make sense to start a deductible for a calendar year when we're going to be switching to another deductible in 2-3 months. So that might make sense. But if you're working 2, 3, 4 years, or you're on your spouse's plan and they're going to work another 2, 3, 4 years, why would we ever get rid of our actual, our group insurance? So, and even if you are signed up for Medicare Part B and you're on your spouse's plan, or you're still working and they have over 20 employees, you can stop your Medicare Part B. It's a simple form. So all you got to do is give us a call. First, let's talk about where they work, what the insurance is, how you like it, before we cancel Medicare.
Yeah.
But you can cancel your Medicare, because that's about $174.70 this year that's coming out of your Social Security. So Medicare is not cheap, and that's where we want to make sure it makes sense what we're doing. So by giving us a call, Jill's standing by right now. We can give you a little advice, 920-887-0580.
All right, very good. We're chatting with Matt Heiar from Heiar Insurance Services here on Taking Care of Business. And you can certainly call the office, especially if you've got a specific situation you want to chat about. Certainly call there. If you've got a more basic question, feel free to give us a call here on the show, 885-4446, or hit up the text line at 887-9595. And we talked about this a little bit last week, but certainly worth reminding folks with the Medicare and the open enrollment period, if you've got Medicare, you've been on Medicare for a few years, and you just really love your plan. Don't worry about it. Just sit there. Is that the case? Not really.
Those are a lot of appointments.
Okay.
Are you happy with it? Is it affordable? Those are the main questions. And affordability has been just so huge, obviously, lately, with things getting expensive. So people have been transitioning from their supplement to an Advantage plan. But I'm here to tell you right now, they are different. They are 100% different. One plan, you don't get bills, but you pay a premium.
Sure.
The other one, you don't pay a premium, and you do get bills.
Yeah.
So they are different, and it is drastic change, and I'm old school. I do not like change. Once I'm comfortable with something,
Same.
It's like, hey, this works. I'm a creature of habit. But at the same time, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes it does mathematically make sense to change. And a lot of times, if it went up a little bit and you're happy with it, it's not worth reinventing the wheel and trying to change.
Yeah.
But sometimes just hearing that from someone, is good enough. We're like, okay, that's what I thought, but I just wanted reassurance. And that's basically what this time of season is. It's we're reassuring you that you're on the best drug plan, you're on the best health insurance plan. And we do it with retirement too. This is of course, we jam in our fall reviews for retiree planning. So that's where, we start talking about the dreaded taxes, whether there's Roth conversions coming up, and then just the overall market situation. And I cannot wait until whatever this election's done. I am so over this election. It just feels like that's just a common conversation that people always have, when it's this time of year. And it's between the commercials and, my kids were, my son was on my phone yesterday, and I heard a political ad coming on, and I'm like, what? He's watching YouTube Kids.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden a political ad came on. I was like, wow, I'm ready for it to be done. It's been a long year.
I think you're amongst a lot of people that have that same feeling, ready for that time of the season to be over. Talking a little bit about the Medicare open enrollment period here with Matt Heiar from Heiar Insurance Services. We should mention, I don't think we even mentioned, obviously, we know it is open enrollment now. It's open. How long is that open enrollment period for?
I'll let you know after the disclaimer.
Look at you keeping me on track. This program is a paid program. The views and opinions expressed are those of Heiar Insurance Services, not necessarily those of Good Karma Brand, its management, or its employees. We're talking with Matt Heiar from Heiar Insurance Services here on Senior Solutions on 95.3 WBEV. Again, the phone number to call if you've got a question, whether it's about the Medicare open enrollment, Medicare plans, if you're curious about some of the plans that are out, or if you are doing some retirement planning, feel free to give a call, 885-4446, or that text line is 887-9595. And just to kind of to finish on that topic, regardless of what plan you're on, if you're on Medicare, whether you love your plan, don't care for your plan, somewhere in the middle. It is important for everybody though to just review it, right? To make at minimum to make sure if you like your plan that it still exists.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I just feel like we've just been so accustomed to things are, especially in the last few years, things are just getting more expensive.
Yeah,
whether it's cable, whether it's a utility bill or something, it's just like, oh yeah, that's it is what it is. But it doesn't have to be that way with insurance. If we're fortunate enough to answer a couple of health questions, maybe we can get it cheaper. Maybe if we can't answer health questions, maybe going to like an Advantage plan with 0 health questions, with 0 premiums. But there's a catch, so that's why we like to weigh the options, give you the pros and cons, and that's what I tell you. This is drastically different than what you have. But mathematically, if we start laying it out, because if you're paying $350 a month for a supplement, and they do get that high when we get into our 80s, that's what, $4,200 a year. So it's like, well, if I can find you Advantage plan with, $4,000 out of pocket, like that's the worst case scenario, that might be a better option.
Sure.
So even if you have a worst case scenario on that plan, you still save money. And I like to have the glass half full mentality. Like we aren't going to have that situation.
Yeah.
But yes, and that's why a lot of people get bad reviews on Advantage plans, but that's typically when they were told one thing, then they use it.
It was really a matter of information and education.
Yes. Or yeah, the person on the telephone said, oh yeah,
Sure.
your dentist takes it. And then you go to your dentist and they're like, we do not take this.
Oh,
So
yeah, that would be a tough one.
And that's where limits apply. We want to know, we want to educate you on what you're purchasing, why you're taking it out, and the reasoning. Usually isn't for dental, hopefully. I really care about what we're paying monthly, what's the worst case scenario, and where can we go? Because if we can't see our doctors,
Right.
Why did we take this plan
That's
out?
a really important factor in that.
Yes. So, and that's where we just evaluate it. And a lot of times, we're like, hey, I think you're good to go. Let's do it again next year and see. And that happens. I see people every year and they're on the same plan, but they just want that peace of mind knowing that we reviewed it. And we usually do nothing. Usually we talk about politics or 'tis the season. But no, it's, or the weather, but that's where just knowing, hey, I reviewed it, because come, middle of next year, it's like, well, it's too late. We have to wait till next year now.
Yeah.
Or till the fall. So that's why this is your time, I feel like a broken record because that's what we've been talking about the last 3 weeks,
Yep.
And I don't know how you can't know it's time, because turn on the TV, open your mailbox, look
Yep.
at your emails. It's all Medicare. And doesn't mean it's right for you, but it could be. So that's why people are like, well, I answered a phone call, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. And they're like, well, they sent me information and they were really nice. And I was like, well, bring it in. We brought it in. I'm like, that is a great plan, and they've gone with it sometimes. We just want to make sure we're doing the educated decisions.
Yeah.
And I feel like this isn't like we should splurge. Oh, let's try it. Because it's like, what's the catch?
Not a vacation that you're investing in,
Right. And typically if it's too good to be true, usually it is.
Yep.
And just a lot of the people that, because, there's telecenters that are nationwide. Mm-hmm. So they don't know, our networks of doctors.
Right.
Or what our doctors are having problems with, which carriers and stuff. And maybe none, but at the same time, let's evaluate and make sure that we're making a good decision.
Yeah.
But also, us being an independent agent, we're contracted with all those companies. So that's why I always recommend people to go on Medicare.gov. It is a government website. It will show every Advantage plan that is in this county. So there's no secret plan out there.
Sure.
Because if you get something from, Carrier X, they're going to show you all their products from Carrier X. And not saying they're bad or good, but
Right.
what are we comparing it to?
Correct.
Carrier X?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's why we want to make sure that, we're just taking the time to review it. It literally is a half-hour appointment. And typically we're doing nothing, which is good. That means they understand that they like their product, they know why they took it, and they're comfortable with it. And that's huge when it comes down to it. But essentially this time of year is for peace of mind. And if you want peace of mind, just give us a call at 920-887-0580.
I think I think when you talk about Medicare open enrollment, it's always so important to remind folks too. It's one of those things where unfortunately it's people not meaning so well try to take advantage of that time, and the folks that are affected by Medicare and try to sneak in there, and whether they're intentionally scamming or maybe they're trying to be legit, but maybe they're not being super honest and transparent. It's really, really important to watch out for those things, isn't it?
Yeah, and I should say, I mean, there is a small case of the scams and stuff like that going on always, not just during this time,
right.
But a lot of these people, they might not have their best interests at heart.
Right.
It's all about the numbers.
Well, and we've seen too. I mean, I think we've seen examples sometimes too, where there's not full transparency and things like that. A lot of them too like to take advantage of using the word Medicare, and it can get kind of confusing because there's some that can feel like you're actually working directly with Medicare, and you're not at all. You're just working with a private entity that is just trying to sell X.
Yes, absolutely. And there's a lot of these, telemarketing, companies that they know nothing about Medicare,
Right.
but they are just gonna get you contact with a licensed sales agent, and that's why you always have to look at the fine print, because that's where it gets scary. I mean, the government is cracking down, so this has been such a problem with the introduction of the $0 plans. They don't need your banking information. Typically, they used to be like $10, $20, $50 a month. These Advantage plans. Well, now a lot of the carriers have $0 plans.
Okay.
So if they get your Medicare number, that's all they need to sign you up.
Sure.
So that's what gets very scary, where, people are signing up and they're getting a welcome letter like, oh. So now what the government's doing is they're auditing a lot of the agents.
Oh,
which
okay.
I got a bone to pick with one carrier. Well, they audited me,
Okay.
and which is fine. So they
Yeah.
basically say like, hey, we need, these 3 clients, their scope of appointments plus their applications, and they just want to make sure we're doing it properly.
Sure.
And all the proper paperwork.
Fair
we're
enough.
storing it in our facilities where no one can see it. But the problem is, it's in the middle of open enrollment.
Oh, yeah.
you're
Bad
doing-
timing.
You're doing this right now.
Yeah.
And
Poor choice of timing.
yes, and please go on our portal, upload these documents, and then any notes, or if we try to sell something over the phone that's Medicare related, you have to record it.
Okay.
And it's just like, I don't have phone recorders, so I'm sorry, I will not sell you something on the phone. I'm a visual person.
Sure.
I feel better if you come into the office and I see your facial expressions. Like, are
Yep.
you just nodding your head, or do you understand what we're saying?
Yeah, I think you make a good point. There are just things that you can get to and get to know people better when you're face to face with them, which is just going to help you in really making sure you're getting them set up with the right plan.
Yeah, I know. We always use that example, like, oh, you need surgery. We don't know for what yet, though.
Sure.
It's like we need all the information to advise you in the best way.
I think people tend to open up more when you're face to face with them too, and will give you more information than on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, typically in a meeting, I always, even like an introduction to Medicare, when I'm just explaining, the parts of Medicare, the different policies and stuff, I always tell them, like, we're not making a decision today, because you just see people's heads spinning. And I'm like, you're not memorizing this. We're going to go over this again, but we'll give you some literature. You can look over it, write questions down, and then we'll meet again and discuss further into detail about things. Because if you just try to drill them with like, yep, this is Social Security, this is this, any questions? Do you want to sign up? And, and I feel like that's happening on the phone calls and the mailers and stuff. And we got to take our time on this. We have till December 7th.
Yep.
So, and a lot of the people they've been on these Advantage plans, so they know, but they're not changing. A lot of people are not changing. If they're comfortable with what they have, that's fine, but it's still meant to review. So then it's almost like, hey, you didn't vote, you can't complain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't complain if you didn't reach out, to
Yeah.
someone locally. Huge emphasis on that, because you will use this insurance. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of when. Even if it's for your yearly physical, what if it's coded wrong? What if you get a bill? And you might have a question. You could call 1-800 number, or you could call us,
Yeah.
local, and you're going to talk to us at 920-887-0500. 80.
We're chatting with Matt Heiar from Heiar Insurance Services here on Senior Solutions. Anything else we should throw out there about open enrollment? Medicare.
It's just a broken record.
Yeah.
It's fun time of year, and it's so hard to find contents, to talk about nowadays, just because this is our life.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but yeah, it's a lot, and the marketing is getting trickier and trickier, and all these people are bringing in all these different assortments of different postcards, and they're saying Dodge County on them.
Sure.
So they think it's from the county.
Sure.
Or your
Yeah.
phone appointment is scheduled, and they have a date and time, and I bet you probably will get a phone call there, and they're looking so official, but we have to look at the fine print.
Yeah.
It's typically says they are not part of Medicare, the government, or Social Security. You will be contacted by a licensed sales agent. So right away, you'll get peace of mind of knowing, oh, this is solicitation.
Yeah.
I already went to Heiar, so I know I'm good where I'm at. And then throw
Exactly. I mean, there's just so much. There is so much information to take in regarding Medicare and the plan. There's a number, because there was, how many plans was there this year?
it away. For Advantage plans?
Yeah.
39.
39 plans. So a lot of information to look through, can get really confusing. That's understandable. It's why it's just so nice to have a local resource like Heiar Insurance, who can sit you, who are from your community and can sit with you and really make sure you're understanding what you're getting into, because it's an investment in your life and your health.
Oh, yeah. And there's so many people that do what we do, but we've been doing it my mom has been doing it for like 30 years now, and so we've been here, we know our stuff. Obviously, referrals is, besides this is our marketing.
Yeah.
We don't send mailers. We don't send emails. This is our marketing. So you're either hearing us through this, or you're hearing us through clients that have had good experiences. And that's what happens in small towns.
Yep.
So you want to go with someone that's been there and has been doing it a while, because just their knowledge, it's so much, to take on, and the changes in Medicare and the new plans and new carriers came out. Is it worth it? And so there's a lot, but that's for us nerds. We deal with that, because like even my cousin who lived in Iowa, he's like, I'm going to do Medicare. Yeah. And I was like, oh, sweet. And I talked to him the next Christmas, and he's like, I don't know how you did that. He's like, that was silly.
Information overload.
Yeah. And he just said it was so much. And then people are asking him so many questions, and, you're scared. Like I was too when I first started. They're like, you get a call. They're like, hey, does my policy cover this? And that's the scariest thing ever. You don't want to be like, yeah,
right.
Go
you don't
get
want
that
to
brain surgery.
That. Yep, exactly.
You're covered, and it's
right.
So, I mean, yes, there is liability. That's why we have to carry, our errors and omission insurance. But at the same time, just having all these different instances throughout the year, and then obviously having my mentor, my boss, mother, she's seen it a lot too, and with the changes in Medicare. So. You definitely want to go with an experienced agent. Just because you want to make sure they know what they're talking about.
Well, and you guys too. I mean, I know you guys make a point too to go through like continuing education and things like that too, so that you're really truly up to date and all that good stuff.
We have no choice.
You're required to.
We have to do 24 credits every 2 years. But that's just minimal.
Yeah.
You got to be doing more than that. You got to be feeding yourself with, mailers, like different, we do webinars and stuff. A lot of the carriers, do like conventions or study groups and stuff like that, weekly calls. And yeah, you want to know the ins and outs of what's going on, the overall market of Medicare, the status of it, its financial strengths. And it varies, even month to month. So Medicare fraud, how's it affecting premiums? So all these different things. Yeah, like to me, it's like, ooh, I click on it and I read it. Someone else will be like, junk mail, but that's what we do, and it's, you want to, build your practice as best as you can and stuff. And I think that's why we get so many referrals, just because people feel comfortable.
Yeah, very good. 885-4446 is the phone number if you want to call in with a question for Matt Heiar from Heiar Insurance Services here on Senior Solutions. Text line's also open, 887-9595. Again, right at the height of the Medicare open enrollment period. But there's another enrollment period opening pretty soon here, I think in a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Can't wait. Yes, that is the marketplace. So we get a chance to see the 2025 plans. We don't get to see them early because that would make more sense. We get to see them November 1st to December 15th. That is the enrollment period for a January 1st start date.
Okay.
So we get to kind of take a look at them, see what carriers there are, if they've gotten rid of plans. So if you got a letter for your marketplace plan that says, hey, you were paying $300 a month, now you're paying $350, you still have to come in and update and renew your application. Because if you just pay that $350 next year, that's fine, they'll let you. But if you reapply your tax credits, you could get that same plan potentially cheaper. And that's why they're not going to tell you that. They're like, everyone says, oh, creatures of habit, right? Oh, it went up, okay, not too bad, I'll pay it. That's $600 more a year that you might not have had to spend. So that's where, yes, the Affordable Care Act, basically we renew your application. It's all data filled already. We're just clicking, yep, agree, any changes in the income, and then we get to look at the plans. And we might go with the same plan, but we have to renew our tax credits because the letter says based on last year's tax credits, you were paying this. Your new premium, which they go up a lot, but the tax credits do too. So, but if you don't reapply your new tax credits, you're going to pay more. And that's where a lot of people do that, and we can't. Even if it's a phone conversation, we could do it over the phone quick just to redo your application. Takes 10 minutes. And a lot of our veterans, I call them veterans because they've just been on it for a while.
Sure.
And they're like, yep, do your thing, and then we just think of a strategy, like, okay, how's our health? Any major surgeries coming up, and then we kind of just move forward from there. But yeah, it's another enrollment period coming up.
So really important to not only make sure you're re-upping your application and getting your plan renewed, but also making sure you're updating those credits as well, so that you're not end up paying more out of pocket for no reason at all when you didn't really need to. So.
The insurance company's not going to call you and say,
no, they're not. Yeah, it's weird how that works, isn't it? Again, chatting with Matt Heiar from Heiar Insurance Services here on Senior Solutions. Still got a few minutes left. What else do you want to chat about? Obviously, I know the last few weeks we've been talking a lot about Medicare and open enrollment because, as you said, 'tis the season. It's that it's the bulk of what you guys are dealing with now. But obviously, a lot of other retirement planning that you guys help out with.
Yeah. This is typically a busier time for retirement planning because, end of the year.
A lot of people are probably looking, as you get into that October time frame, you're right. A lot of people are starting to put their notices in for retirement for the end of the year and calling it quits.
Yes. And that's why even if you're going to retire next year, now's the time still to come in, because what's the game plan? It's much harder to make a game plan for retirement, when it's like, 2 months away.
Yeah.
And does it get done? Yes, it still does. Because people have health scares, or, the life events where it just has to happen, which we make it work still. But it's so much better and peace of mind knowing, hey, this is the plan. We'll meet you in 6 months. We'll talk again about it. So that's why our fall reviews are huge for people that are already retired, because that's when the tax situations come up and stuff like that. But moving forward for our new retirees, that's when, hey, we want to make sure that we're on board. What do we all have out? What's our income plan? What are our Social Security amounts? Is one spouse still working? Is one not? Because it never happens where they both retire at the same time.
Yeah, those have got to be probably one of the more, when you're doing retirement planning with folks, I'm assuming those are probably the most complex cases that you probably see a lot of, is where you've got one spouse retiring, one spouse not retiring yet.
It actually makes it a little easier because we're not drastically changing our household income.
Oh, sure.
So, you're turning on Social Security and your spouse is still working full time and you're going to get a part-time job, or, we have to start implementing some of your money from your IRAs. Okay, perfect. So that's why we definitely want to talk to you. The sooner the better, because yes, there's beneficiary updates. There's There's life events like, oh, my daughter's getting married. It's going to be expensive. Where do we pull it from?
Yeah.
And we evaluate that. Talk to the CPAs and stuff and see their suggestions also, because we need our accountants on board for anything we do in retirement, and we don't want to get yelled by them. So that's a big thing too. But yes, so that's why we have our team with us, whether it's the CPAs or, like Rob Mielik, who does the estate planning.
Yeah.
There's never a certain enough time to do an estate plan.
Yep.
And I know people are like, oh yeah, we were going to get on that. No, it's really important, because we just don't want to be dealing with all this stuff in a tragic time, and it's tough. So, but that's why, by giving us a call, you can kind of talk with us, see if we're a match and see if it makes sense, and then we can retire together.
Exactly. And it is nice, as you mentioned, it's nice to have Rob Mielik have some office space with you guys, because you are dealing with you do have so much crossover with your clients, and because a lot of people that are looking at Medicare and looking at retirement also need to be doing that and the life planning, and so it's pretty convenient that partnership works out over there.
Oh yeah, and then I'll also bring in our investment specialist, Matt Cleddy, which he's been on the show before. But yeah, he's the one that is kind of like I do with Medicare. He also does with like investments, watching the market every day and stuff. And so we bring him in for, higher level income planning and stuff like that, and different strategies. So it's just basically we try to surround ourselves with people that are really good at their job.
Yeah.
And then that is what you get. You get our team of people, when you come work with us, and that's trying to be the one-stop shop, basically when it comes to retirement, so we can just check all the boxes, and then your family, your friends, they all know that, if something happened, this is where you come to, and we got everything all in one place.
Yep.
Just trying to simplify it as much as possible, so you can retire, live your life, you can go on Medicare, and we'll take care of the rest.
No, try to cut down on that, having to run around to everywhere and anywhere to get all that done. It's really nice. That convenience is big. We're chatting with Matt Heiar from Heiar Insurance Services. Anything else you want to touch on here in the last couple of minutes?
I don't know. I feel winded, actually.
I know. Well, you've been doing a lot of talk, not just here on Fridays the last couple of weeks, but throughout the last 2 weeks or so. You've just been doing a lot of talking on, especially the Medicare and open enrollment stuff. So do you like go home now at night and like recite it in your head and like have dreams about like the different plans?
So if I wake up in the middle of the night and I think anything of it, my mind turned on. It's like crap. I can't even complain. I mean, it's 7 weeks. It's not that drastic, but it is difficult to shove everything into 7 weeks. I don't know how these larger practices do it, but they might have more manpower. But I don't envy to be that at all. I want to, just help out our local community.
I was gonna say, just a lot of people that you guys want to help out, and I know, and that's the great thing, having been able to talked with you and Sandy over the years. It's so clear when you get to talk to you guys. You're just out there wanting to help. You just want to help the folks in our community. Yeah,
and I want to help people that want help. And that's where, if you're coming to me and stuff, I'm gonna try my best to do as best as I can. And I think you just take pride when it's your family name and family business, and the expectations, because your mom really treated me well and stuff. So my parents said that your mom was great. So, and I'm like, the bar is set high.
Yeah, the bar is really set high. You're not lying on that one. So. I have heard that as well. So again, Matt Heiar with Heiar Insurance Services. It's Senior Solutions here on 95.3 WBEV. We enjoy getting to sit and chat with Matt and the crew every week and learn a little something. And again, big weekend coming up. I know you're excited to head downtown tomorrow.
Yes, I mean Fall Fest. It was really cold last year.
So. It was on the chilly side, and right now that forecast is looking a little on the cooler side in the morning. But by the time those casket races get going, it's looking pretty nice and mild.
Yeah,
looking nice.
I'm excited.
I know that's going to be a pretty busy day already. You get to make it down to Madison for the Badger game, or are you going to be watching from home?
Best seat is at my house.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be fun. And then, of course, Packers on Sunday and go Beavers tonight.
I know. I'm excited. So that's the main thing. Tonight, it's their day. So go Beavers and kick up Menashe's butt.
Yeah, really fun to see them get their first conference championship from since 1983, and hopefully it doesn't stop there. Hopefully they add some more awards and trophies to the case this year.
Oh yeah, we're not done yet.
All right, Matt, always great to sit down and chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt Heiar with Heiar Insurance Services. That is going to do it for Senior Solutions today. The preceding program was a paid presentation. The views and opinions expressed are those of Heiar Insurance Services, not those of Good Karma Brands, its management, or its employees.